So there's been a lot of things that I've had to learn and relearn since I've moved to the United Arab Emirates from Ghana because obviously the cultures are different in both of these countries. So in today's video, I will be sharing with you some of my cultural shock since I've moved to the United Arab Emirates. Hello, true fam. Welcome back to my channel. If it's the first time on my channel, welcome to this family. My name is True Born, and I recently moved from Ghana to the United Arab Emirates. On this channel, I just share with you some of my tips to moving to the United Arab Emirates and also the general life of an immigrant in an Arab state. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and follow me on my journey. All right, so let's get into today's video. One of the very first culture shock for me when I moved to UAE was about the rent because back in Ghana, you pay your rent like the least you can have is a year. Most landlords take their rents like in advance, so you pay 1 year in advance. So, but here when I moved here, I realized that they do have the yearly payment option, but that is not even likely. But most people just take monthly payment. That's like the standard here. And then if you're taking like a bigger apartment, they may be like they have 3 checks for the year, they have four, they have 2 checks. So it means you pay twice, like every 6 months, and then they have the yearly. But most people take the monthly. I was like, oh, that's a good one. Okay, interesting. But one funny thing is that I sometimes forget to pay my rent because I think also because I'm not like really used to that option. I'm only used to paying like a year. So I know that I've paid a year or 2 years and I don't have to think about my rent anymore. But here I have to pay monthly. So sometimes it will go like fate or like, and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to pay my rent. So now I actually have an alarm set on the first, on the last day of um, the previous month to pay my rent on the first. And I think that's really a good thing to consider since you work monthly, you take monthly salary. That way it's easier to just like pay your rent each month. The second culture shock for me here is that I realized that most people have roommates because, boy, the rent here, especially if you live in Dubai, if you want my apartment that I had back in Ghana, it was 1 bedroom apartment. So you have the living room and then you have your bedroom, then you have your kitchen and all that. Trust me. And then the size, if I have to take that same apartment here, I don't even want to estimate, but it would probably be like 4 or 5 times the amount I was paying back in my country. So that in a way also forces people to have roommates because then it's easier to share the rent and then cut down cost. But back in Ghana, having a roommate, it's not something that is very common. It's either they're your cousin or your sister or your brother, that's fine. But just having a roommate because of rent is not something that is very common. I don't think I've actually seen anything like that. Usually to be friends wanting to live together for the sake of their friendship, but not necessarily for the sake of money. So that was something that I was surprised when I found out here. But a lot of the apartments, they have a lot of people share the apartment with 2 or 3 or even more people, roommates. So that's my second cultural shock. The third thing that shocked me here, not really shocked me, but I kind of was confused, is that they call the traffic light signal. So anytime I take a taxi and I'm trying to direct them because where I live, there's a big, now I say signal, there's a big signal at the junction. So anytime I'm trying to direct somebody to my home, I'm like, okay, you go across the bridge and then you get to the traffic light. And they're like, huh? I said, you get to there's a big traffic light, then you take a right. And then they're like, they don't understand. And then they'll ask, like, signal? I said, yeah, yeah, signal, signal. And I'm like, it's traffic light. I've never heard anyone call a traffic light signal. But coming here, that's the name that they use to describe a traffic light. They call it signal here. So if you're planning to move to the UAE, you must know that traffic light is called a signal here. So anytime you want to direct somebody, or even if you're new in UAE here, you want to direct somebody, know that traffic light is a signal. The fourth thing that shocked me culturally when I moved to the UAE, this one is so funny, was something that they call a car lift. Okay. So in Ghana, in most African countries, I know for a fact, when somebody says a lift, you're thinking it's a free ride, correct? So I moved to UAE. I was initially in Dubai, and then I got a job in Sharjah. So I had to move to Sharjah because where I was staying in Dubai and where my job was like at the far end of Dubai. It wasn't even like closer. So I had to move to Sharjah. So I moved to Sharjah. No, initially I was in Dubai. I was moving for like a month until I finally found a place in Sharjah. So when I was in Dubai, I reached out, like I was asking around and how to get like um I actually wanted sorry I actually wanted a taxi because that's what we do in Ghana. It's either you have a car or you have a taxi driver that would pick you up and drop you off back home. So I wanted that. And I remember somebody told me, oh, you can get a car lift from Dubai to Sharjah. My stupid brain. I was like, oh, nice. That's interesting. So I got back home. I was super excited. I was like, wow, some people are really kind. So, like, they give you lifts because maybe they're probably coming to Sharjah also. So, I was like, but he said a thing like it's something that people do. So, I was thinking that, oh, maybe that like there's a place where you go and then stand there. People are like, oh, are you going to Sharjah? Then they will just give you a lift to Sharjah. I was wrong. I was completely off track. It has nothing to do with lift. It has nothing to do with free ride. So car lift here, it's a way or a process where people who have private cars use that as a form of transportation for other people and charge them some few amounts. So, for instance, if I want to go from Sharjah to, say, the Dubai Mall, if I take a taxi, there's a meter attached to it, and then the meter is going to read. If there's any delay along the way, it's all going to read together. But if I decide to go with a car lift, I can negotiate the price. So it's just like a taxi back home. I can negotiate the price with the driver and say, okay, I'm going to give you 100 dirhams, and then we go, and that's it. So, but me coming from Ghana, when they say a lift is a free ride, so initially I was thinking, oh my God, these people are so kind. They're going to give you a free ride. I was completely wrong. Okay, so it was good that I didn't have that in my mind, like I'm going to get a free ride and just like move with that. So if you're coming to UAE, if you're new in UAE and anybody tells you car lift, it's not a free ride, it's a paid ride. Okay, just like an Uber without the meter. So my last cultural shock is the weather. See, hmm, there's so many misconceptions about the UAE weather. If you're coming here, be prepared. Like, so I actually came here in 2021 before I moved last year. And when I was coming, I remember very well. I read the weather and they were like, oh, the place is hot. And I'm like, I don't think it's hot because there's no place hotter than Ghana. Then I came with my friend Lydia Esenam. Shout out to Lydia. She will tell you the trouble we faced because the time that we came, it was around August. And oh, when they say the place is hot, like it's the definition of hot. Okay, I don't know the degrees Celsius, 40, 45, whatever degrees it is. I don't know, but it's extremely hot. You cannot, 30 seconds in the sun and you're already dehydrated. It's no joke. It's no joke. So if you're planning a trip to UAE, I wouldn't advise you come between like May and September. It's not a good time to come. It's not a good time. Secondly, with the same weather, when I got in UAE, um, I think in around November, I remember one of my colleagues, she was like, "Oh, you need to start buying stuff for winter because it's going to get cold in winter, like latter part of November, December, January." I'm like, yeah, right. How cold can it get? This is a desert. Like, how cold can it get? It's still cold. We are in April and it's still cold. The sun is shining all right, but it's still cold. It was extremely cold. You come out of your house because I work in the morning, like 6:30, I have to leave home, and it's white, completely fog everywhere. Even the last time we had what's it called? Hailstorm, rain. That was I think in February. So it does get very cold, especially between November up until like January, mid of February. Just be prepared. Don't think that you're living in a desert and so, oh my God, it will never get cold. You're wrong. It will get extremely cold and you would need to, wear your winter clothes. I wear gloves to work. I wear gloves to work. It was one of the reasons why I decided to come to UAE because I felt like the weather condition will probably be the same as back home. Mm-mm. It's a lie. I have to wear gloves in the morning. Like I'm literally freezing as I'm working because I walk to my work maybe like 15, 20 minutes. I'm freezing. My hands are all like shrinking. Okay, so these are a few of my cultural shocks that I'm going to share with you today. I will do another video regarding the other culture because there are lots of things that I'm still getting used to in UAE here, and I'll be sharing all that with you guys. So thank you so much for watching this video. I will now go and take off my makeup and take a shower and go browse the internet. Thank you so much. Until the next video, take care and remember, life is short. You have to live your truth. Bye.